back, guys. Here we are on Vonnie Research Station. This was a recover from replay, so we're a minute in already. But guys, in the top right-hand corner of Vonnie Research Station, it is from Chobo Team League 6, BabyPuncher. Not even going to comment it's starting in the gold base, because that's what it looked like in that game. Just like, hey, I started at the gold.
And in the bottom left-hand side, in the bottom center, we have the pink Zerg player, starting with regular minerals, teawave.
That would be kind of a cool thing, you know? No one ever uses it, but in custom games, you can set, like, how much health your units have, 50% or 100% of their normal health bar.
Yeah.
And so, I feel like that would also be a cool thing from maybe, like, a Masters player playing a GM player. Just make the starting resources gold. It'd be kind of a funny little thing to do. But T-Wave, man.
Be something.
BabyPuncher goes out for the scout. And she will spot T-Wave's gas into pool. And I mean, this is going pretty aggressive. It could just be a safe opener, but I kind of doubt it.
Most people, when they want to go for that safe opener, they're looking at, like a 15 pool. Usually not like 13 gas, 13 pool, or whatever the early craziness was
14,
that's coming
14.
out from. Yeah, so a lot of potential aggression going to be coming out from T-Wave, which is probably what they need against against a float to gold base build that they clearly are not expecting.
I really want this game to get into the mid game just to see where BabyPuncher takes her main or natural base. Like, where do you go from here? Do you just hang out for a while and then like, yeah, I'll float it back to my natural. I'll just, it's cool. Don't worry about it. But
yeah, just
for now,
back into the regular natural. Seems easy enough.
Yeah, I guess that would actually. All your units fly, or all your buildings fly anyways, you might as well. But the Overlord, this is really important, does not see a wall. So these Lings, for now, are feeling pretty confident about themselves. Sadly, they're actually going to pull back. They're halfway across the map. They're like, wait a second. Where's your racks? Just making sure there's no shenanigans, and this is going to be funny, because T-Wave's like, hey, cool, you're not proxying me.
T-Wave is probably less familiar with this build than they would be hoping. Now, this Marine coming in from the low ground, you'd think would actually kind of tip T-Wave off to be like, hey, why is there a Marine coming from that angle? And I would assume, at this point, T-Wave knows what's going on, but the Lings, they're still heading up north.
Yep, Baneling Nest is done. Metabolic boost only about 20 seconds away, and they will catch this Marine. And funny thing is, they still would not normally see the CC. Now they see the lack of it, albeit. Wow. And now they know exactly where we're going to the gold base, but there's already a stream of Marines coming across the map. 7 Marines out against 22 Lings. 4 Banelings coming in, and I'm a little bit worried that gold base, yes, there's a very nice there's a 100% wall off, I think. Take it back. There's just a 100% wall off. Never mind. It will take not 5 Banelings, but 10 to break through one of these racks.
And of course, the Marines could potentially turn around. For now, they're just heading directly for the main base of T-Wave. They get pulled a little bit there as they realize that their lives are in danger. But as you say, it'll take 10 Banelings. With only 4, T-Wave is going to need a little bit more power.
Yep, just kind of meandering around the map, hoping to catch some Marines, catch something out of position. But T-Wave did actually, T-Wave saw everything, so did see how the wall was. And get rid of the Marines. It's pretty big. So now there's essentially no aggression out of BabyPuncher here, and it's not even an interesting situation. It's more just like, does T-Wave kind of say, you can't get out of there if you lift up your axe, I send my Banelings in?
Well, with
There's
the bunker completing at the front, if some Marines can actually get into this, that will give a nice defensive spot for BabyPuncher. Now into the... Oh, they didn't even kill the racks, which means the Lings are going to have to be able to melee it down. It doesn't
15 health,
get eliminated. Oh, no.
I feel like the smarter move would have been to just hold a contain, take your natural, maybe take a quick third, and go into Muta play, something just like Baneling Ling Muta, but now all the Banelings are gone. If you look at the top right, only 100 gas left, only mining off of 1 gas, and in mineral-wise, per minute, BabyPuncher is getting upwards of 400 more minerals a minute off against her opponent. So, I mean, once the banelings are gone, that was all the early gas investment.
Pretty much,
these
there
Marines
are
gonna be able to kill
still
everything.
some opportunities for T-Wave to get this back, but it doesn't start by giving away all of your units. Oh, T-Wave has gone from a bad situation to even worse. It's 20 Marines to now 15 Lings.
Yep, now 11 Lings, 4 Banelings, but the Banelings are not quite going to be fast enough. This is the only Queen of T-Wave at the moment, so that is really important for Injex. There's no more production for T-Wave. Yes, there's 8 Lings on the way, but after those 8 Lings come out, it's not going to be enough, and the Baneling just detonating all over the wrong places. Bunkers being set up to retreat onto, and GG!
GG! The very convincing lift to gold base into just Marines, because that's all you need to win. Well, a chat room, apparently. I thought we were playing StarCraft. Apparently, we are just in a chat room, as we have on this now 4-player map. Some exciting things going on. But in the top right-hand corner, hailing from the US of A, our pink Zerg currently down 0-1, it's T-Wave.
And his opponent in the bottom right-hand corner, asking for directions to the nearest gold base. Sadly, none on this map. Actually, not sadly, kind of thankfully. But in the bottom right-hand corner, from Chobo Team League 6, it is BabyPuncher. Right off the bat, sending her SCV to the top left base. This is only when you're going to proxy something. Like, you just you're making sure not in the top left. But on the other hand, would you not scout the bottom left and then put something between the top left and top right? I feel like that'd be the more...
It does seem like the more likely option. I guess this is actually going to be the worst scouting pattern possible for BabyPuncher, unfortunately.
Yeah, it will be. Thankfully for T-Wave, it won't be the worst for him. He will get the scout, but you still gotta be a little bit suspicious of what BabyPuncher is doing. Won't be anything in this case, but there's the scout and does see the supply depot, so T-Wave knows where BabyPuncher is. T-Wave, though, opening like he did in Game 1. Just saying, you know what? I like my 14-14. As long as you don't do something weird, I feel good.
In this case, it's relatively standard thus far. It almost looked a bit like a Reaper Expand, but of course this Reaper Expand would have involved, I assume, a proxy factory if the SCV Scout would have gone a little bit more favorably. But in this case, no, it's just, you know, you got to use that gas to get the factory as early as possible and then pump out lots of Marines.
Yeah, that's the scary thing when you go up against a barracks and a reactor. You either have the possibility of double Marine into a kind of safe natural base, which is actually going to work out well for BabyPuncher here, or you have the double Reaper when you're really scared of generally
catch out the Marines, though. That's pretty much all of the defensive units here for BabyPuncher. T-Wave is in a good spot for the opening.
Yep, natural base denied, and like I was saying, normally it's a safe natural base opener, but that won't be the case as long as T-Wave can deny the natural base. It's not going to be like what we saw in Game 1, because, I mean, Game 1 essentially was about 30% more units possible for BabyPuncher with that gold base, so we'll see how they go on more even footing. Baneling Nest, about 30 seconds away, and T-Wave just amassing Lings, no plan on taking a natural base.
With this more traditional wall-off coming out from BabyPuncher, those Banelings have the much better opportunity of actually breaking through. Let's see if a single Ling can be split off. Yeah! Well, T-Wave is trying to do that single Ling split. On the back end, T-Wave is looking a little bit towards the future with that natural expansion finally coming down. But you were correct, it's very, very late.
Yep, coming down to 6-minute mark, not too good, but BabyPuncher doing this really well. Unburrowing the Widowmine, doesn't want to waste it on a single lane because she knows that is the bulk of her defense right here. No CC started in the main, nothing like that. BabyPuncher just going up to Starport and could do a devastating drop off the back of this. You know what? I like the drop supply, but not on a forward supply depot. Too easily that could go down, but oh, Widowmine goes down. Now, is that the sign for T-Wave to move in? Baneling's only a couple seconds away. And BabyPuncher picks up, there's the siege tank, but I'm a little worried about her supply. That many banelings will kill the supply depot, but siege tank should clean it up. Here's the drop. Oh.
Well, the baneling's not quite getting up the ramp like they would have liked to, and that drop, as you mentioned, is still on its way towards T-Wave's main. So BabyPuncher has that opportunity to do a lot of damage. BabyPuncher has held at the front as T-Wave turns everything around. First couple of Marines now dropping into the main.
The Marines will drop, but they're going to drop one by one onto the Lings and actually lose the majority of the Marines in that medevac. Medevac will pull back, and right now, because of the early aggression, the beauty, the nice thing for T-Wave is that, yes, he's committed to the aggression. He had a later natural, but he was able to deny the natural of his opponent, and he didn't sacrifice all his units into just a head-first blunder. He still has a lot of map control, and just for a while here is going to be able to deny that natural base, which is kind of the funny idea of, well, you say, okay, it didn't do any damage, but in reality, it did a lot of damage, and he lost none of his army.
Lair now going to be coming in for T-Wave. Loses an Overlord down south, which would be pretty close to supply blocking him. Fortunately for him, as you mentioned, there's still no orbital command on the way. It just now is going to be placed in a couple of moments by BabyPuncher, so that CC will finally, at 8 minutes 50, start to construct, and that... I don't know if I've seen a later natural expansion.
I've seen a later natural expansion in like TvT when they both go one base into like Raven Banshee and then just kind of throw themselves into each other for a while. But yep, pretty darn late expansion. We do see T-Wave's Hive on the way. Sorry, Lair, my bad. That would be the scariest Hive you've ever seen. We do see Lair on the way, but still there's going to be a time where T-Wave's looking to go into the next tech choice, adding on gas, and so he's going to be starved a little bit on minerals in what his next tech choice is. So BabyPuncher may be able to move out in this time, especially with her small scout from these Hellions, but it's key that she'll be able to identify that, yes, there's a lot of Lings, but there's not that next step tech that you normally are trying to get to counter your opponent.
Armorer also going to be coming in for BabyPuncher, so keeping these Hellions alive a little bit longer until she can finally turn them into Hellbats is very important. They nearly got caught out by the Lings, but not quite. Bit of a 2-base Muta build going to be coming out from T-Wave. Of course, it's a bit late, but still, this always has the potential to do damage as long as it's not scouted.
Yeah, you know, like the late 4-gate, the late DT now. Actually, the late DT rush sometimes does work, and it's kind of funnily does. But BabyPuncher for now, you know what, cleaning up this Overlord, but that will allow the Lings to maybe get us around. Now, won't be the case. Supply blocks T-Wave nicely, though. Even though Spire is the next choice, that's still 50 seconds away, a minute away. And BabyPuncher, won't be going for a drop. It's just going to pull to the right-hand side. I like the idea. And it could serve to do a decent amount of damage, but I feel like BabyPuncher is the army where it's kind of like I just move across the map and we go for a base trade. You can't actually kill my army.
Third base now going to be coming down for T-Wave. Eventually, we'll be getting up towards that full 3-base economy. And Stim about to finish up. Now, BabyPuncher, this is the moment that we're all looking for. Is there going to be that big attack? BabyPuncher has been kind of playing around with some drops, not really committing to anything too hard, but now there's SCVs being pulled, Widowmines, tanks, and a lot of Marines.
Hellbats at the front of this, or at least Hellions, will be able to turn into Hellbats, which was going to tank the majority of any Ling, any Baneling shenanigans, which is really all that BabyPuncher has seen. Yes, there are 5 mutas on the way, but like I was saying, this is a scary army. BabyPuncher was not doing, okay, cool, I've finally got my natural up, let's be greedy. She went, okay, cool, let's go punch that guy in the face, and we'll see how it goes down. Hellbats at the front. Siege tanks need to be very careful, but it's all just a game of time, and T-Wave is not giving BabyPuncher the time to get up these siege tanks, but the Hellbats at the front just do so much damage, and there's no mutas to do anything. BabyPuncher storms through that army.
We've got that many stimmed Marines. There needs to be something else, and GG comes down. BabyPuncher with the solid 2-0. A 4-player map.
Welcome back to ASL Defender League Finals. Here we are on Echo, in the top left-hand corner of Echo. It is the pink Zerg player, currently down 0-2. Put your hands together for teawave.
And in the bottom right-hand corner, are they going to be going for anything too crazy? Our orange Terran Dominator. It's BabyPuncher.
I'm liking each game, BabyPuncher. It may be providing her an avenue for cheese, but every game she's just done the really early supply depot into SCV Scout, and it works as long as you're not in a mirror matchup. Generally, it is the really nice thing to do, and even in a mirror matchup, you can do it and get some valuable information. All she sees is, hey, T-Wave is doing the exact same thing he's done each game, and I think it was a 13-13, even though it's not really a build. Normally it's 14-14. I think each time he's done it, it's been slightly off.
Doesn't even matter if you're slightly off, because when you're going up against BabyPuncher, you could be going for a most standard build, and that probably wouldn't even matter. This SCV hanging around inside of the main base of T-Wave. BabyPuncher, do you have anything fantastic planned for us? No, actually. That's weird. Why is the factory back home? You're not supposed to be back home.
I was excited. Well, what's even better about that is the second Overlord wasn't going to scout that. Like, normally in a Zerg main base, it's hard to proxy specific buildings because they have creep, they have Overlord, just a lot of extra vision provided to them, but that won't be the situation here. SCV is just going to hang out. Maybe this is just going to be a delayed scout, but this is what T-Wave has done each game so far in this best of 7 series. BabyPuncher is going to be prepared for it, not looking like she's going to go for a quick natural go like the previous games, or at least like game 2. There's the proxy rack.
There we go.
This is the cheese I'm talking about with her. It's not even cheese. It's just kind of like, hey, let's see if it works. Hey, I can get a Marine out. You suck. But on the upside, this could be the best game ever. That she knows each time T-Wave does this build and is like, I can't get out of my base. Why do I need to put my production in my base?
T-Wave scouts it as well. He does indeed see it with a bit of vision on the Overlord, so he does know that it's there. He could pull drones. He could pull the Queen. He could send the additional Lings over to kill that Rax. But of course, he's going to be focused on trying to break up this ramp. Now, this single Widow Mine could spell disaster for his attack.
I'm a little worried that there's no pull at all, because, I mean, yes, he could have clicked on it. Oh, there's it being pulled back. All right, cool. But the bunker already going down. I'd rather see a Reaper.
There.
Reaper does have slightly more health, a little bit more mobile, but that won't be the case. Rax just gets on up out of there. But, plus side, everything was pulled back except for 2 Banelings. We'll see how BabyPuncher deals with this kind of a upset of her build, but doesn't really matter. T-Wave right back there and is ready. I'd love to see the left-hand side supply depot to go up to allow the friendly fire. To allow the Lings to go on top of the other Widow Mine, but won't be the case.
4 kills on that Widow Mine. Some of that splash damage was indeed to friendly targets. Now, the nice thing for T-Wave is that T-Wave has pretty much cleaned everything out. Trying to target the other Widow Mine will be able to get it to fire off. And with that reactor coming in, there's no real units to stop this attack from BabyPuncher. So Baneling's going to bust through that supply depot.
Yep, only SCVs here, and BabyPuncher right there says the GG.
There we go, T-Wave with 1 game coming back in this best of 7 series. Welcome to Terraform. We're off of the weird maps, the not ladder maps, and we're back into the regular games, as we do have taken 1 game back our pink Zerg player, T-Wave.
Facing his opponent in the bottom right-hand corner, the orange Terran player from Chobo Team League 6. It is BabyPuncher. Oh yeah. Terraform, much more of a just normal map nowadays, as you said, and it's kind of funny with the previous 2 maps that maybe they've practiced on these maps for the map pool of ASL, but still, again, if you're just laddering and meandering around on ladder, when you come to this, you're like, oh crap, Vani, ooh, It's just not a thing you'd expect.
Vonnie Research Station you definitely don't expect. However, I didn't expect Face the Sun to win our next giveaway. A big congratulations to him. Of course, if you want 3 months of SC2ReplayStats.com premium, then you can, of course, enter numbers on command because Nightbot will kind of cue you. He'll be like, hey, guess what? A giveaway is about to start, and then you can know, okay, now's my time to type in numbers like a crazy person. The first person to guess the number correctly will indeed win that premium. Now, I'm a bit confused because BabyPuncher actually opened 12 racks, and I was like, all right, 12 racks, 12 gas, Reaper expand. Just kidding. It's now 3 racks.
3 racks push. Evidently, BabyPuncher for a couple seconds was looking to deny natural base within engineering bay, but was like, hey, you're opening up 12, 13? Again? It's the awkwardest thing to scout, too, because if I scouted that, I'd be like, I honestly am very confused about what you're doing, even though it just is a little bit weirder than a 14-14, and it has the same kind of outcome. Still, if you scout that, you're like, this isn't right. This isn't right.
Something really feels incorrect about the way you're opening. That's just, you just type that to them. You're like, hey, you know, you should.
I've done that
14,
before.
14.
I've scouted people and be like, man, that's weird. And then sometimes they'll be like, sorry, I forgot this. In ladder games, if I forget something really crucial, like if I just blank out on like at my first gate for some reason, this is in like Diamond, albeit, but if I do that, I'll actually tell them like, if you scouted me, I forgot that gate. Just like FYI, like don't like I'm not doing something weird.
And of course, in their mind, they're like, he's just saying that because he wants me to not think about his proxy. Because we actually did see teawave take their first couple of lings and just run them around inside the main base. He was like, no, I gotta make sure. Is there hidden buildings? Like, I know you tried to do this last game. So BabyPuncher definitely getting inside the head of teawave.
Yeah, BabyPuncher definitely doing that now. This defense, she has a much better opportunity at. She's got the Marines at the high ground. There is enough banelings here, but there is no Widowmine, which has been the key game changer in the previous games, to just say, I'm going to negate half your force. I'm going to blow them up. Lings go in to scout the Widowmine, sees no Widowmine, there's enough banelings to bring down the supply depot. Yes, there are a lot of Marines coming out, but right now, what's really important is there's 6 SCVs in gas. There's 2 gas coming down for BabyPuncher, so yes, she can produce Marines at a time, but I don't know if she'll have enough.
Coming up, the first couple do manage to break through that supply depot and in-flood the Lings, getting on top of virtually every single one of those Marines. The banelings get nicely sniped down, so these Lings don't have the power to stay.
More Lings flooding across the map, at least 10 more on the way, but after the initial banelings go down, I'm now starting to get a little bit worried for teawave, but never fear. He believes in the power of the baneling bust. All hail that baneling, but now the factory is out. Widowmine should be starting relatively soon, and that has been the key defense of BabyPuncher in the previous games. Supply depot's back up, 3 racks production on the way. We'll see what teawave maybe does something off the back of this, but I have a feeling it's just, let's keep doing it. Let's keep trying again and again.
Only 6 Marines went down in that attack, and now that we do have a bit more of a formidable defense with 13 Marines, that wall, as you mentioned, coming in, but more importantly, that Widowmine nearly complete. Every moment that goes by, teawave is going to have a harder and harder time breaking this. Now, actually, teawave, that's 2 additional banelings. He's going to be up to 9 banelings for this attack.
Which would be enough to run into the Marines, because they do tend to snipe 2 to 3 banelings on the way up, but will not be okay for the Widowmine, which those Lings did try to snipe right there. Won't quite happen, and this is truly the kind of back to Warcraft 3 reminiscent of, I got my one hero, it's the Widowmine, and I'm going to micro my heart out of it, but it's going to be useless. Lings may be able to catch a small group of Marines in the low ground, but we'll see. There's enough banelings to smash with the supply depot. There it goes down, and banelings slaughter the Marines, but some Marines in the low ground actually end up being totally worth it.
That's the sort of thing about these attacks coming out from teawave. He manages to bust through part of the defense, but he can never quite crack all of it. And once again, those supply blocks being a terrible part of BabyPuncher's game. She's been struggling with supply blocks this entire series, and she's always had just enough units to hold on, so hopefully that doesn't come back to sort of bite her in a worse way.
Yep. BabyPuncher actually just going to reposition herself, and she has double Widowmine production at the same time. Medivacs are up, and I presume off the back of this, she will go for a drop. T-Wave's going to be heading home, and a very nice Overlord snipe, but there it is. BabyPuncher won't really care about the Widowmine for now, just trying to snipe as many Overlords as she can, but I'm really worried for T-Wave because on the previous game, or actually in game 2, Iron Fortress, we saw T-Wave go for the quick natural and then try to do something out of here. But one base versus one base, Zerg just is not at the production. You may have the equal economy, but not quite even the production. So I'm actually starting to get worried for him here.
It definitely will be something that T-Wave needs to figure out is the production. If you really don't want to take a natural expansion, you could potentially throw down a macro hatch in your main, like at least do something, but ideally T-Wave should just at some point figure out how to take a natural expansion, as here comes the big march of Terran across the map.
Currently 38 army supplied to just the 11 of T-Wave, now almost all of that turn into Banelings, but there's the Widowmine, not even a place to fall back onto, normally what the Bio Army does, but just kind of try to bait some Lings into it. One Baneling does go off. Does he know the second one is there? Okay, yes, does know. Sorry, one Widowmine does go off, but joke's on you, I had Factory into Reactor. Now, there is no layer, so there is no vision. Oh, Queen's taken out, there is no injects left, and get a little bit dicey.
This is a lot of Marines at the bottom of the ramp with Stim. They have the opportunity to do so much damage. These Widowmines, even if they just absorb the Banelings, that would be absolutely fine. But BabyPuncher are going to reposition them into the drone line. Two of them are about to fire. That's a lot of power that they have inside of them. Into the Marines go these Banelings. They're trying to get up towards the Marines, and they managed to clean up the majority of them. A lot of splash damage, allowing this army to get cleaned up.
Does clean up that army, but there is still no layer. There is no vision. There is a Spore Crawler started, but for now there is absolutely zero income and only 3 Lings left. I think BabyPuncher takes it. Steady stream of units coming across the map, and Widowmine's already there. How many Widowmines are actually even on the map? There are 9 Widowmines.
That is exactly the number that BabyPuncher needs. The Spore Crawler, you were saying no layer, you know, there's no Overseer. Doesn't even matter when you could build a Spore Crawler, but of course, GG. BabyPuncher lost that one attack, but of course, had so much good production behind this. And the main base...
Welcome to Game 5 of ASL Defender League Finals. Here we are on the maddening map, Moonlight Madness, and top right-hand corner, representing Shobo Team League 6. Currently, up 2 games. It is BabyPuncher. Only 1 game away from victory.
And in the bottom left-hand corner, the hope of the comeback always is alive because we have our pink Zerg player, T-Wave.
Ooh, once again, is 13-12ing? I guess it's a 13-13 this time. I don't know, man. I don't know. We'll have to see. Yep, it'll be a 13-13. Thankfully, the build is a little bit better timed out. Honestly, it's a 14-14, though, which is so confusing. Like, 14-14 is an actual build you can look up on Google. 13-13 is not. So, maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. We'll see, though. BabyPuncher against this is getting a very nice scout. Sees, like, cool, you're doing what you've done each game. And I'd love to see BabyPuncher just, like, 100% overreact and throw down bunkers, but won't be the case. Although, Moonlight Madness is probably the best map for this. Rocks in the back will take a while to be taken down, but 2 ways into the main. What more could you want for exploding Banelings?
I guess it depends on where those Banelings are exploding on, because that is really what counts. We've all seen in the past a misclick where someone, you know, clicks Banelings on a command center, on rocks, or on something that they just don't want to blow up. So that would actually be a pretty hilarious way to go. If suddenly Banelings just all suicided on the destructible rocks.
That would be a pretty hilarious thing to do. And how many? You'd need 20 Banelings to just kill it in an instant. So, yeah.
So
maybe
like
even actually
12
even more than
banelings,
20 banelings.
and then
I don't know.
like 12 banelings, and then it still has a good amount of HP. But once again, T-Wave, the one base, 13-13, probably the best build on the ladder, and definitely one that's shaping the meta of tomorrow. Now, if we look on the other side of the map, BabyPuncher, who's been mixing it up every game of the series, right into that factory. Look at that. But the supply block is kind of the crucial part of this, because it delays anything that you could be going for. So we're going to be looking for that supply block coming out of BabyPuncher in the next couple of minutes.
I love how you're like we're gonna be looking for the Banshee. We're gonna be looking for the supply block out of her. She's gonna do it.
Yeah.
Sucky strategy, but sadly,
No, it's a
that's
really
what we'll
good
see
strat.
happen.
This
Oh,
Widow
the
Mine.
Overlord. Or I thought you meant she was gonna accidentally supply block herself because she keeps supply blocking herself, like you mentioned last game. And I was like, that is the most sucky thing to mention ever. But maybe that will be the case. I don't know if he just got a ton of lag. If that was me, not sure. What just
Widow
happened
Mine
there,
burrows
but Widow
at
Mine's
the
there.
front. Once again, now Baneling's going to be morphing in the initial 6. The problem with this is every time T-Wave tries to break this one Widow Mine, so many Lings end up just dying to Marines, or the Widow Mine just doesn't go down at all.
Yeah, definitely. The Widow Mine is always the linchpin, the biggest thing in the defense going up a ramp. But like I was mentioning, it couldn't happen now. But if the Lings earlier on were working on the back rocks, maybe something. But BabyPuncher is already prepared for that, taking down those rocks. We'll see the couple Lings go in, and 2 Lings will sacrifice themselves, and now everything's going in. Still got to be very careful. But the Bane, goes down on that. 2 defenses down. The Banelings could go up, but one of them will go down, or actually I think 2 of them go down going up the ramp.
And this could be the supply block depot as the Banelings do bust through. Now, the question always is, does BabyPuncher actually have enough to hold this up? That was some great splash damage on those SCVs. 3, now 4 down, but the Lings won't get the opportunity to kill too many more if they're killing off these Marines. More Lings coming in from the south. Pretty much every single Marine is now dead with 7 SCVs down. It's looking dire for BabyPuncher.
For a while right there, looking pretty good, was actually up 4 workers, but BabyPuncher will remedy this by picking up a couple workers here. She still has Meewals, but not quite enough. GG! T-Wave starts the road to victory.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Inferno Pools for our game number 6. Now, in the top left-hand corner, our Orange Terran player. She needs to regain her composure to continue this series and actually take it home for the win. This is the finals of ASL Season 5 Defender League. And this is BabyPuncher.
And is her opponent trying to snap the win away and get out from the jaws of defeat? In the bottom right-hand corner, it is the pink Zerg player. Currently down 1 game, could even it up in this game. It is T-Wave. With the lovely 13-ish 13, but cross spawns on a
14-13. This time.
Was it 14-13 this time?
It was.
He's getting so close to having the actual build. So close. But, I mean, maybe it is. I don't know, man. I don't know. But this is cross spawns on a 4-player map. This is about the best possible scenario for BabyPuncher to get in. And like I was mentioning before, I think her not playing cheesy has mainly been, ooh, you do this every game. I think I want to just kind of hold back and defend.
Which the travel distance on this map is insane. It's actually kind of crazy. So that definitely, as you said, will work in the favor of BabyPuncher. But every single game we've seen T-Wave get fast speed, very quick right there, about 3 minutes, which, I mean, typically if you think about speed, it's usually 1 to 2 minutes later than that. And then, of course, that quick Baneling nest and lots of Banelings. Well, as many as T-Wave can afford. So the fact that T-Wave doesn't care that it's Inferno Pools is, I don't know if that's a good idea. That feels bad.
Yep. Feels a little bit bad and kind of just itches at you. You don't like it, but Maybe he'll make it happen. That metabolic boost will finish around 450, but by that time, I mean, the factory, the Widow Mines are going to be out, and maybe we'll see a CC, something from BabyPuncher on the 4-player map, but by that time, as I said, Widow Mines will be out to defend, to be able to blow things up. Think about it, a Widow Mine's job is pretty great. You just sit in the ground, and when things run by, you're like, oh, hey, yeah, kill it, kill it.
Kill it. I don't know. I feel like the Widow Mine doesn't have to say kill it to anybody. They just like fire off a missile and they kill it.
Just happens.
So,
they're a little bit trigger happy.
ooh, look at this. So BabyPuncher is actually getting a CC. I did not see that coming. Now the thing is, of course, that CC is not in actually the correct position. Oh, and
the
T-Wave
lings were so
scouted
close.
it. Yeah, exactly.
The lings were so close.
Oh, and the
I was
Overlord
looking at
turns away as well. Ooh.
Ooh, this is narrow, man. I mean, BabyPuncher has Vespasian next to her, just like praying, like, come on, don't scout it, don't get it. But there are the 6 Banelings. This time they're now okay. In the bunker, it is +6 range, so maybe the Marines can kind of reach down the end of that ramp to pick off the Banelings before they hit. But I mean, already extra supply depots being made.
The very careful play coming out from BabyPuncher, adding on the tank, that anchor to Terran defense, doubling up that wall, as we can see on the one side. You mentioned the extra supply depot, but on the other side, starting to build up that additional wall as well. T-Wave is going to have such a difficult time actually getting through this wall.
Yeah, instead of going for the Widow Mine or a couple early Widow or a couple like extra Widow Mines normally, then when T-Wave is hit, BabyPuncher said, you know what? It's a 4-player map. I can buy myself a little time, get up a siege tank, and there is no way this is getting up the ramp and actually going to be doing damage. We'll see, though. Maybe, possibly. BabyPuncher, though, is just covering all her bases, getting a starport, and I like that. Oh, I like that a lot. I like that a lot. It's like, you know what? You're not... I like... Yep.
The attack at the front has been thwarted. T-Wave forced to pull back, and now T-Wave not just GGing out of the game, which at this point T-Wave has to know, like, okay, my extremely aggressive styled opening is just gone horribly awry, and actually, it may have gone even worse, as we do have a second factory coming down from BabyPuncher.
I mean, the Marine siege tank, very good force. Marine siege tank, bio siege tank. Widow Mine definitely potent. Just mixing stuff together. Could even be a mech play. We'll see how that how it pans out. But the Overlord of T-Wave in the top will scout the hidden BabyPuncher base. There's only one SCV at it though, and BabyPuncher has 500 minerals in the bank, so it's kind of. It's just like, hey, if we're 100% even in every way, I'm going to have a slight edge on you.
Now we do once again have that armory going to be coming down from BabyPuncher, and the great thing for BabyPuncher in this situation is that, like, yeah, you scouted my hidden base, but you can't do anything about it for quite some time.
But, I mean, it looks like T-Wave does want to do something about it, adding on another gas in the main, and I think we're seeing not necessarily a quick layer by any means, but I have a feeling it may be going into Spire. That is T-Wave, which I'd like. But then again, we did see that game, I can't remember which one it was one of the very first couple, that T-Wave tried to get the Spire up, but did not have the economy, was kind of making units, and then making economy at the point where he did not have a bank to push out a lot of mutas. Neither did he have the production to defend the pushes from BabyPuncher.
Yeah, on Iron Fortress, that particular game was a little bit awkward from both players because, again, we saw T-Wave go for the aggressive opener, that like 14-13-esque build that he's been enjoying going for, but then he didn't really manage to do any damage with it. And so BabyPuncher was completely untouched. It was another 4-player map, and then the kind of weird delayed, like, natural and third that T-Wave tried to go for never really paid off. So either we're going to have to see something that that's a little bit more conservative in terms of the aggression from T-Wave, so making sure that he's got enough units to defend, or we're going to have to see him like find the weak spots in his opponent, not try to engage the army head on.
And there may very well be a weak spot. Yes, we're seeing a lot put into this hidden, I don't even know if you want to call it a hidden base, but into this second base. And in the main base, there is defense, but there's still, if BabyPuncher moves out with the mech army like this on Inferno pools, it's not going to be able to be in time to be fast enough to defend mutas, but that all comes down to, is T-Wave going to be constantly harassing with them, which he could, but again, just like you were mentioning economically wise, this is a 4-player map. He could go out, take a quick third, and go into Spire, which I think is the much better way to do it on Inferno pools.
Well, these first 6 mutas do have the opportunity to potentially do something, but we already saw missile turrets coming down, we already saw Thors coming down, so really, these mutas are going to have their work cut out for them, dancing around all of the defenses and just being very careful to not overcommit into the anti-air that our Terran player has.
Yeah, it'll be a very tricky situation, especially when it's only 6 mutas for now. Not that many more on the way. There is 500 gas, though. We've seen sometimes a little bit of a bank be accrued for T-Wave, but we'll see how it works out. 6 mutas versus, I mean, there's 3 missile turrets and there's 4 Marines. This second base is pretty darn well defended. Not only that, but it looks like, I mean, BabyPuncher's kind of looking to move out or just clear up some overlords here and there. It's going to be the muta's job to stop this.
I love these little, like, 5 Marine medevac drops that you were kind of referencing as they just clear up overlords, and it's something that it doesn't really make sense in a lot of other games, but in this particular game, it actually makes perfect sense. And so that gets a big thumbs up from me until right now, where the medevac runs out of boost and just gets killed off by these mutalisks.
That's got to be a terrible feeling as it's like running away. The other Marines like kicking the first Marine out. Like, yeah, no, you got to go in the lings. You do that. I'll come after.
Yep, I'll totally be down there to fight alongside you, buddy. And that medevac goes down as pretty much one of the first losses. Actually, yeah, the first loss was that medevac and those 5 Marines for BabyPuncher. So BabyPuncher still hasn't moved out, and that's one of the ways that a Zerg player can try to gain an advantage over a meching player, is when the mech player finally does move out. There's potentially counterattacks that can happen, especially as you mentioned on a large map like this, but we're just not seeing that opportunity for T-Wave.
And I really think both of these players could have taken another. You can't engage into that, but I really think both of these players could have taken a third. But I mean, we see BabyPuncher turtling it up awkwardly. Missile turret upgrades are coming down for her, and then over here for T-Wave, I mean, it's the 15-minute mark, man. It doesn't matter if it's Heart of the Swarm or Legacy of the Void. You should have an expansion by now, and this only ever favors the Terran player here, and BabyPuncher is moving out, and it's kind of funny because you're like, oh, maybe put too much into anti-air. Well, trust me, 7 Thors will kill just about anything.
And the Ling's now going to be coming in. They're kind of potentially move commanded. Nope, they were attacking that Thor, which is always good. Sometimes you aren't really sure, like, is this going to be a big one move command misclick? But in this case, the SCVs will be able to repair those Thors quite nicely. And that third base, BabyPuncher, even scanning the corners of the map that she knows are incorrect, just to make sure there's no hidden bases.
Yep. Now, the issue with the defense of BabyPuncher, there's actually only 1 missile turret, at least up front. There is the Thor, but if these Metalists can try to snipe something, that'll be great now. Oh, gotta get rid of that second siege tank for the Ling Baneling to be able to make its way up the ramp. But like you mentioned, Cybert, right now BabyPuncher's like, no, you gotta have something somewhere. You gotta have something somewhere else. But 38 Lings on the way, and it's kind of funny because Thors are actually great at killing Lings.
SCVs in the middle of the map getting picked off as they try to make their way to help out these Thors. Ling spawning from all over the place, going to be able to come down and get a kind of surround on one of these Thors, but actually going to end up turning around and going for the Marines. This entire army just doesn't have a real answer, and behind this, of course, BabyPuncher still has a lot of SCVs and a lot of bases to work with. Well, a lot relatively, as these mutas come in and get decimated by the Thor anti-air.
And guys, this is looking like BabyPuncher may take the win barely. barely. teawave is trying to survive, but we see the Banshees focusing down the lane on the main base, and GG! BabyPuncher Cyber, what does BabyPuncher do?
Wins Defender League Finals. A big congratulations to the Terran Hope coming through. A Protoss in the round of 8, a Terran in the round of 4, and now a Zerg in the finals. So defeating in every single matchup her opponents, BabyPuncher will take the victory.
Thanks for watching the video. Please subscribe to support the ASL by hitting the button now.